American troops have done in Iraq, all the fighting, all the dying, the bleeding, the building, the training, and the partnering, all of it has led to this moment of success.
You deserve better than tyranny, corruption, and torture chambers. You deserve to live as free people, and I assure every citizen of Iraq, your nation will soon be free.
Hey, yo, Esau. Yeah. Let me holler at you for a second, bro. You remember me? Yeah. When I used to rule the world until you put me in this motherfucking shithole. But it's all good. I forgive you, Esau. But I've been hearing some crazy stuff, man. And you've been polluting the sea. You've been polluting the air. You've been polluting the water. All the animals are crying out against you, Esau. Most High ain't happy with your ass. I just gotta tell you, when I get out of this place, when the Most High come back, I'm gonna chew your ass, Esau. Your ass is gonna be mine. Believe that.
Hello, I am Priest of the Most High, Lucifer D. Lambew, and you are watching the Lampshade's Current Events, End of Days. The world is changing, O Israel. Freakish weather conditions, super tornadoes, typhoons, tsunamis, record-breaking flash floods, droughts, famine, pestilence, and hunger. In addition, we face global instability, financial crisis, the fall of the US dollar, civil unrest, a police state, the RFID chip, aka the mark of the beast, leading up to World War III. One world currency, one world religion, one world government, aka the New World Order. And did I mention aliens, bro? The Lampshade's Blood Moon Saga complete series has ended. But it's done. You can go back at any time and watch all 7 seasons. Check out our journey from when we were, coon Christian pastors, and how it's changed to finding out the truth and knowing that we were Israelites from the tribe of Judah, and finding out who the real God was and is and will always be, and that's Yah and his son, Yeshua HaMashiach. 7 seasons come and gone. But make sure, because you don't know when the internet's going to go down. You don't know when any of the calamities that are coming that will come to pass. Will make viewing the internet, will make viewing websites and things that you are used to seeing online no longer accessible. I'm going to talk to you today about the Paris shootings. These 12 who that got murdered over at the Charlie Hebdo place, where they were doing some satiric, comedic type of stuff. I'm also tied into a couple of other things. So we're talking about the same genre of satire killings. But nonetheless, though, you got these this editor and this news comedy people who put out some stuff about one of these Muslim prophets. Now, to be fair, they had put out things before about Christianity and about Catholicism and about a whole host of other things. So they were known for that. They were infamous for that, so to speak. But now, after also they have been, at least reports show that they have been firebombed at some point in the past too, before this actually came down. All right. Now, they got 2 guys who are supposed to be Muslim extremists that went in there and killed the editor and 12 other members of the staff. And apparently, when they were exiting the building, they killed the cop. That's how the byline is on the mainstream media. But as always, they're lying, bruh. Of course they're lying. You can tell they're lying. If you got eyes that can see, if you know what's coming next, their lies start unraveling almost immediately. First off, in a review of the footage that has been, put out, that is unedited, uncensored, and shows the interaction that these guys had with the police officers laying on the ground. It's clear that the shot don't hit them. And these guys are walking around with these AKA guns or whatever, like they're toy guns or something. I mean, there's no like these guys are muscle men. I got no weight to it, got no real recoil at all. Yeah, it shoots a projectile, or it could be projectile, could be air, who knows? But there's no blood, there's no scream, there's no gurgly sound, there's no noise. I mean, if you were going to the theater and you were watching, or not even a theater, man, if you was going on YouTube or one of the other things or whatever, and you watch a low-grade film, you'd have a better, you have better makeup artists that can make this stuff look a lot more realer than this. And this is more than just the audiences being desensitized to violence, because it was clear that guy wasn't shot. The head didn't move or jerk. The body didn't move or jerk. I mean, if you look at the internet, and there's some of these sites that have people actually really getting shot and actually seeing people really getting shot. You know, not that I spend too much of my time looking at that stuff, but if you so happen to come across one, you'll see like the body jerking and all this other kind of good stuff. I mean, reacting to the bullets entering and exiting the body. You know, I mean, ricocheting off the cement or something and leaving a little blood spot or something to show the ricochet. None of that was present here. That guy was just a really good actor. Really good actor. Now, it's not to say that there's 12 people who didn't get killed in this incident. You know, I mean, editor got killed. At least that's what they said, and that's kind of a little difficult to fake. You know, so when bringing upon their new world order, you got to spill a little blood. But the cop, he was acting. That was an act job there. You know, now maybe the heat will come out and people will start demanding, some real proof on that element, and maybe another cop will come up, dead, and then they'll use the other cop who isn't this person that was in the film, and they'll try to make it seem as if, we got pictures of of the autopsy or something, but it won't be the same guy. Or if it is the same guy, he would have died at the same time and not in the same way. Something like that. Or, they just think that you're so dumb that they ain't gotta show you nothing. You just believe it. Also, you gotta look at the fact that you gotta think about this. And you look at the fact that this newspaper was distributing about maybe 30,000 copies annually. 30,000, whatever. Pretty low grade when you're talking about the big papers. They typically do a lot more than that. And now they're selling their papers in the millions. In the millions. So they've had some financial gain because of the publicity they've gotten from this Charlie Hebdo. You gotta look at that. You gotta look at possible motives for people, for entities, for governmental bodies not to be 100% honest about what happened. Why'd they have to bring the cop in? Now, if you look at if you review the footage, you'll see these guys, man, these jokers, they're walking casually. They're walking casually, man. They're walking like they just got out of the store and bought a bag of Skittles. They're not walking, they're not quickening in their step, they're not slightly running like they're guilty and like they're worried about the cops arresting them. They're not moving like a criminal on the run. They're moving, in a form, in a way that would suggest that they ain't got no worry. This is all point the script for them. They know what's gonna happen next because other cops ain't supposed to arrive for another 2 minutes type of deal. And if you notice when they drive off, when they finally get to the car and they drive off, they're not speeding away. They're casually cruising. Now, what people do you know? What crime do you know where in real life that's not in the movie screen, where somebody can, kill people and whatnot, and then just be so casual and just cruise out of the crime scene? Nobody follows them? Nobody gets their license plate number? Nothing. Nobody tracks them down? And for these guys to be so cool and collected, we're just supposed to believe that they leave their identification in the car. So now the police know who they are. They know who they are. They couldn't find Oscar bin Laden for who knows how when, for how long. But they know who these guys are. And incidentally too, they were able to catch up with them, not arrest them, no, just kill them. So now kill them and bury them so that nobody can actually look at the body or anything of that nature or even know where they're at. So, you know, A, they could still be alive and you never know it, or B, they're dead, but they're not the people that were on the video coming out of the place after killing 12 people in the Charlie Hebdo. There's a lot of, you know, this stinks. It reeks. It reeks. Whatever happened to arresting somebody and then getting information from them that could possibly lead to other arrests? Unless they want to make sure that the people that they claim to be guilty of this crime don't start talking and proving that they're innocent. Because if the public knew for certain that these guys were innocent, then they really want to have the guilty party. And what if that guilty party was the very government that was hunting down the killers? He said, it's not no theory. I mean, it was a theory, but it's not far-fetched. I mean, I guess it's far-fetched if you still think that 9/11 wasn't an inside job. Then I guess the ideology that the government can create false flags in order to gain more of your rights away from a public that is already weary of letting those rights go to begin with. But, you know, terrorism is a very good motivator. It's an enemy that is faceless. You know, you can push whatever color you want. You can push a light skin in, you can push a dark skin in, you can push, you know, Edomite if you want to. You can push whatever nationality or people that are standing in your way. You can create a terrorist of that people, be it real or fictitious, and now you have all the go ahead to go ahead and lean and push your will on that group of people. Now, I'm not trying to say that there's no such thing as Islamic, you know, fanaticism. But really, what's fanaticism these days, man? You disagree with the government, you're a fanatic. You believe in your holy book and you're willing to put your life on the line so that you will make it to heaven, you're a fanatic. You don't believe in the system, you don't trust the official story, you're fanatical. You're a prepper, you keep your water close, your weaponry and your food to be able to protect your family and not have to put so much trust in the government to just magically take care of whatever comes your way. You're fanatical. You see, because, you know, they did this with Al Qaeda, they did this with, you know, 9/11. You know, the Paris thing reeks of 9/11 in the sense that, you know, or the bombing. You know, if the video that is uncensored is correct, and that cop wasn't killed, that was an act job, a fake job, then why is it that when they caught up to these guys and you see all this gunfire and all this exchange and whatnot, you know, why would they be shooting at the cops then? If these were the same people that didn't shoot the cop in the first video, why would they all of a sudden be shooting at the cops in the second video? Not to to miss the fact that the FBI or whoever their people are that watch people all day, was watching these guys, have been watching these guys months before this even took place. You know? A, it didn't stop it from taking place, but B, and then it's also coming out on other parts of the internet that these guys may have been double, triple agents and so forth. That they were actually on the government's payroll. On the government's payroll. So how do we know that they didn't just get those pictures and post those stuff as government agents, as getting paid by the government in order to infiltrate, you know, these networks. And then in order to pull them out, they stage this thing. They fake like they killed them. They give them a new identity in some unmarked grave that ain't even their grave. Now they're in another part of the world somewhere on another ultra secret mission with another new name. But yet they're utilizing the opportunity, okay, to take away your rights. Because, you know, these governments of the world, they know what's coming. They know what's coming. You know, they know calamity's coming. They know calamity's the end of the blood moon away. And they're doing whatever they can to make sure that they have all the unilateral power they need. Paris has military people patrolling the streets now. Unprecedented. That wasn't the case before. Just like in America, we got the military doing operations in America where the Constitution forbids it. America had their Patriot Act and the acts that followed based on 9/11, and now Paris is quickly getting the legislation to give them similar types of powers. Notice when they were doing that whole hand-in-hand stuff, you know, freedom marching, whatever, in Paris, you know, the world leaders were there, but notice who wasn't there. I don't recall Putin showing up. I don't recall Kim Jong-un showing up. I didn't recall none of them. No one said why didn't they show up. Now they said Obama, but I mean, he's supposed to be with the West power structure. They would expect that he would show up, but did he give a damn? He's waging wars. He got several wars going on, plenty of people killed. Like he said to his aide, he's good at it. He's got to make sure he stays on top of his killing game. But the calamities are coming up. And this is how the West is doing to prepare for their upcoming World War III. They need to have all their Western countries in line, you know, in order for them to be able to switch on war and not have to worry about picketing in the streets. They need all the power necessary. They have emergency powers. If you want to be quick on this, on this thought pattern, all you have to do is look at Star Wars, Emperor Palpatine, to know that, you know, making an enemy is the perfect way to get free people to give up their freedom and become slaves because of fear. You know, because of the boogeyman. But see, you know, as an Israelite, we know what's coming down next. We know that calamity is coming and that Esau's kingdom's unraveling. We know that, you know, they got these false flags and they're going to keep on hitting you guys with false flag after false flag until finally you just give up and say, take the power, all the power you need. Just protect us against the big bad boogeyman. I can't tell you what color he is. I can't tell you what nationality he is. I can't tell you what religion he is because, you know, I can just tell you protect us against the terrorists. And they're going to be like, yeah. But see, as an Israelite, we know what's going down next, man. Bruh, our God's coming. The God of Israel is coming for us. He's taking us the heck out of here. Ain't gonna be no rapture, as the Christians say. He's just gonna show up in his spacecrafts and gonna beam us up, baby. It's gonna be time to leave. Second Exodus. Well, maybe not necessarily have to beam up. Who knows? Who knows? But I just know we out of here. Okay. And for those of you who aren't able, smart enough, chosen to get on that boat, you know, won't be terrified. So, you know, I would definitely take a look at this stuff. Let yourself take a look at this stuff from the beginning. Take a look at these, you know, Israelite ministries. You know, take a look at the Blood Moon Saga from the beginning and watch that to the end. Take a look at this series. Watch it to the end. You know, because it won't be available forever. Are you ready, O Israel, for the end of days? Planet Nibiru, polar shifts, gigantic meteorites the size of cities hitting the earth? You better have your Yahshua HaMashiach seatbelt on, because it's gonna be a bumpy ride. Lampshades Ministry is an Israelite ministry from the house of Judah, and we do not accept tithes and offerings of money. The word of God is for free and not for sale, bruh, at any price. I'm your host, Priest of the Most High, Lucifer D. Lambew. Join us next time if you're still breathing and one of these worldwide calamities haven't ghosted your ass. This is the Lampshades, current events, end of days. Shalom, bruh. Wake up, so-called African Americans, Black Americans, let me tell you the truth. Liberty or a noose, the choice of a Jew. You're a Hebrew, brother, you're a Hebrew. Your story don't begin in America, for forever, you were born as a Jew, made a slave in Egypt and all around the world. You're a Hebrew, brother, you're a Hebrew. 400 years in captivity, the facts don't lie. You can bury the truth, but the truth won't die. You can stain it on glass, won't change the facts that our Lord Jesus Christ is black. You can rewrite the past, that don't really fly. You can remake a movie, you can try and deny. You can paint him white on the cross, can't change the facts. Lord Jesus is black. The greatest deception was turning day to night. Is to say black Jesus is why. Hebrew nation, you can't stop us. Slavery couldn't break us, so we won't stop. We rise to the top, even though you thought not. We the true Hebrews, though you caught block. We won't stop. Hebrew nation, you can't stop us. Slavery couldn't break us, so we won't stop. We rise to the top, even though you thought not. We the true Hebrews, though you caught block. We won't stop. God created man in his very own image. What the Father has begun, the Son will finish. The people of God spoke Hebrew, not Yiddish. What the white man destroyed, the Lord will replenish. The people of God has the mark of the Lord, identifying factors that no one can ignore. Feet of bronze, hair of wool, and among the poor, Jesus Christ was a black man waiting at the front door, screaming, let me in. If you do, I will dwell in you. Wash your feet, make your heart brand new. Let me in, I will take away your sin. I will love you like my kin. Don't reject the Hebrew skin. Let me in. The true Hebrews were meant to be a blessing to the nations, but their heritage was erased during slavery, and they were replaced by fake Jews. Deuteronomy 28 tells the story. Hebrew nation, you can't stop us. Slavery couldn't break us, so we won't stop. We rise to the top, even though you thought not. We the true Hebrews, though you caught block. We won't stop. Hebrew nation, you can't stop us. Slavery couldn't break us, so we won't stop. We rise to the top, even though you thought not. We the true Hebrews, though you caught block. We won't stop. Yeah, man, you gotta know your Bible, man. Revelations chapter 2, verse 9, and Revelation chapter 3, verse 9 speak of the true Jews. We the true Jews, you the fake nation, you can't stop us. Slavery couldn't break us, so we won't stop. We rise to the top, even though you thought not. We the true Hebrews, though you caught block. We won't stop. Hebrew nation, you can't stop us. Slavery couldn't break us, so we won't stop. We rise to the top, even though you thought not. We the true Hebrews, though you caught block. We won't stop.